Hello world, Krista here from Books and Jams, and I am very glad that it's September. Happy September. I love the fall. It is my favorite season, and so I'm excited that we're getting closer to it. But I love the warm days too, so I'm glad those are not finished quite yet. In August, I did not read nearly as many books as July. I actually only completed 3, and I'm very, very close to finishing a 4th. I reread Anne of Green Gables this month, or last month I should say now. I loved it. As I was reading, I kept catching myself smiling because it's just such a delight to read this book. I love Anne. She is so precocious and just so much fun. She holds grudges, she gets into a lot of trouble, she has an extensive imagination, and she loves people, and people just fall in love with her, as I did, again, reading this book. So if you've not read Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery, you're missing out because it's really fantastic. It makes me want to go and watch the movies again because I haven't seen them in quite a long time. I am going to continue rereading the series. I believe there are 8 books. I don't know how long it'll take me, but I'm going to keep going because Anne is just so much fun. And I hear that Netflix is going to be doing a new miniseries of Anne, so I'm very excited for that as well. The second book that I finished in August was an audiobook, an Ember in the Ashes, and I wasn't sure I was going to like this, but I needed an audiobook because I was doing a lot of road traveling in August, and that makes the time go by so much faster. But I ended up really enjoying this book. It's about the two main characters are kind of in 2 totally different parts of society. Leia is a slave, and Elias is in an academy to learn how to become a soldier or a mask. It's kind of in a dystopian fantasy world, similar to a Roman Empire, I guess. They have battles that reminded me of like gladiators, I guess. So Leia grew up as a scholar in this empire, and the scholars were taken over by the empire, and Elias is part of that empire, being trained to be a mask or one of their marshals or soldiers in a sense, who run tyranny on the rest of the society. And there's just a lot of political stuff going on, a little bit of romance, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to A Torch in the Night, which just recently came out, I believe, so I will be probably listening to that. I enjoyed listening to it. It was read by multiple voices, which was nice. It's written by Sabaa Tahir. Sorry, I forgot to say that. So yes, I enjoyed listening to that this month. And finally, the book that I finished just the other day is Before the Fall, and I don't know what happened to the dust jacket for this. It's in my house somewhere. But this was my Book of the Month Club pick for June, I believe. It's by Hawley. It's a mystery, and I did not like it. So the story is there's a small private plane leaving from Martha's Vineyard with 9 people on it, and the plane crashes, and there's only 2 survivors, a painter named Steve and a 4-year-old boy. And so the story is all about what happened to the plane. Why did it crash? Was it on purpose? Was it an accident? Did Steve have anything to do with it? So the story just unfolds to find out what happened to the plane. And the book is written with a lot of little vignettes. It kind of takes each person on the plane and gives us some backstory on them. It also, I want to say, pontificates about art and life and the news and media and paparazzi and our bloodthirst for a good story, in a sense. And I got bogged down in so many details. It really halted the story's flow for me. Every time I had to set it down, it was really difficult to pick it back up and get caught up in it again. And some of the conversations were just so pompous, and not pompous, but just so unrealistic to me. I couldn't imagine some of those conversations actually happening in real life. So I just was not a fan of Before the Fall. It wasn't a mystery that I enjoyed. So there's that. The fourth and final book that I'm nearly finished, I know it's September 1st, but I really am on the last disc and the audiobook. It is The Glittering Court by Richelle Mead. I heard a lot of really hesitant or negative reviews on BookTube, and so I wasn't sure what I was going to think of it. I really didn't go into it with any expectations whatsoever. It's about a high society girl it's sort of a fantasy world, but it really closely parallels reality. So this Elizabeth, I forget her last name, is a countess who their family has no money really, so she needs to marry for money, but also needs to marry save their family. And so she is not thrilled with the prospects that are available to her, so she kind of runs away to the Glittering Court, which is a finishing school of sorts, which helps kind of common women get raised up and teaches them high society things, art and needlework and all kinds of other things, so that, not needlework, but teaches them how to be high society, so that when they go to Adoria or the new colonies, they can marry up to the next class. So I don't even know really what a lot of people's problem were with it. It was an enjoyable story. It didn't rock my world. It didn't change my way of thinking about anything, but it was a good story. I'm nearly done. I'm eager to hear how it ends, and I believe that it's going to be a trilogy, but of companion novels. So they're not going to follow sequentially, but it's going to be the same story told from two other perspectives, which I kind of enjoy, because I enjoy the idea of that, because I really liked the two friends that Lizzie makes in the Glittering Court. I'm intrigued. It left a lot of holes in the plot about those two stories, but it makes sense when you know there's going to be companion novels, so that you can kind of go back and find out, well, what happened? Where was she? And why did that happen? So I'm excited to continue. I'm eager to continue with the other two. So I enjoyed it. It wasn't fantastic. It wasn't awful. It was just a good story to pass the time the month of August. So that is it for what I read this month. I would love to hear from you if you've read any of these. If you've read Anne of Green Gables and love it, please fangirl with me for a moment in the comments. But I will be talking to you very soon. I have a lot of things coming up in the works, so I will have another video up very soon. All right, bye.